Mikel Arteta has really sent a message to Arsenal fans that has really sent them into a very, very, very happy mode of Jesus doing well, and he's back in training with Arsenal, though he is really trying to make his knee really get used to heavy stuff. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Rokani David is my name. Third video of the day, and we are here to let you know what Mikel Arteta is really going to say in his press conference as Arsenal is preparing to play a side called Brentford, and that is tomorrow, a game that's going to be played at 18 hours. And obviously, we'll be here bringing you the match build-up and then later the match reaction when everything has been put to bed, when the referee has blown the 90th minute whistle. We're talking about Gabriel Jesus, Reiss Nelson, Emile Smith Rowe. Those are the players of Arsenal we're going to talk about. Then the players' reaction of Arsenal as far as the loss of Everton is concerned. And lastly, what Mikel Arteta thinks about Brentford, a team they're going to be playing tomorrow at the Emirates. And obviously, he is really ready to bring us to what is happening in the training sessions of Arsenal. So guys, smash the like button and do the needful and subscribe. If at all you want to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, let's start off with what Mikel Arteta said about the team news ahead of the Brentford game. He told us that the ones that were long-term, like Emile Smith Rowe, Reiss Nelson, and Gabriel Jesus, they are closer and they've started to do some activities and have been outside, but they are not ready yet to be considered. So, that is a positivity, as we reported that Gabriel Jesus had fled to Brazil after Arsenal beating United by 3-2 at Old Trafford at Emirates, that he returned on Monday. We did that story. Charles Watts told us, I think, on Monday and Tuesday that Gabriel Jesus is back at Carrington's for Manchester United. Is back at London Colney to sit to either retrains with Arsenal. Now, him training at Arsenal has been really confirmed by the manager again that he's back and he's trying to really see himself back. For Reiss Nelson, he's also back, and Emile Smith Rowe, but they are not yet considered to be part or in contention to play this game of football as Arsenal takes on a side known as Brentford. So you can call them or rule them out. They're out of that game, but you never know. In the next weekend, they can be found into this game of football. Then he went ahead to really give us an update on Gabriel Jesus, because this is what most Arsenal fans really want to hear about Jesus and what is happening with his injury update. He told us that Gabi is doing really well. He has already been outside a little bit, but it's still early stages. He keeps pushing everybody every single day, but we need to respect some timelines and processes. He's doing really well. So, the manager of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, is excited with the progress of Gabriel Jesus' injury, because it's an injury, and most knee injuries see out players out for like 3 or 4 months. But when you have to count the time that Jesus has really used to recover and to find himself on grass, it's really miraculous. It's ridiculously unacceptable. Having operated on the 7th of December, 7th of January, 1 month, 7th of February, those are 2 months. People that undergo surgeries of the knees always, on average, they spend 3 months before even stepping on the grass. But for him, he is already on the grass even before he made those 60 days. That is Gabriel Jesus. That's really so much good for a club known as Arsenal. That's why Mikel Arteta is saying that he's really doing well, but they have to respect the timelines and progress of the player known as Gabriel Jesus. So I think he is really excited because the player worked really hard to come in through and really make it to returning early enough as expected by the doctors, because it was reported early enough that the way he's really recovering is really ahead of schedule. It's out of this world, and it shocked very many doctors that Jesus' reaction is really out of this world. And he hinted about his return date. That is Mikel Arteta, and he said it's still too far off that. You have to see how he reacts now when you start to put some load on the knee and get some load and get some movement and actions that are not controlled as the ones he's been doing and where he's comfortable as well to go to the next stage. So it looks like the only test that Gabriel Jesus is left to pass is that of really lifting huge loads on his knee. That's it, because there are movements he can't make when his knee is not yet back in perfect position. And when you hurry him back and he doesn't really get back to where he's supposed to be, he can get a setback. So they need to hold him with care. The good thing is that, however much they are missing him, they signed in another player who can add more to their front three, that is Trossard. And I believe the signing of Trossard is really a lifesaver or a trophy saver for Arsenal this season, because Martinelli looks like he's off, and sometimes you'd love a player to come on and really take him on. Most of the times, the worry is all about on Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka on that right attacking side of the midfield, he plays there alone, and he has no competition, and no player can come in through and really execute exactly what he really portrays every time he's on the field of play, donned into that shirt number 7 of Arsenal. So as it stands, Trossard is really good and he's helping out Arsenal, but Jesus will be a very good player to come in through. But as Steve K confirmed to us that on the 25th of February, Jesus will be back, and he might make it to the match squad as Arsenal travel away to the Midlands to play Leicester City at King Power Stadium. So that's what you're going to be waiting for, to see whether Gabriel Jesus will be back on the 25th. But how many days from now to the 25th? 15 days, those are 2 weeks. I believe he'll be back, and he would have passed the heavy test on the knee. I think he would have passed that, according to me, because he's really a very good and hardworking player. He always gives out the best that he wants to be on the pitch. He was described as the best pressing forward in the world by Pep Guardiola, his former manager at Man City, and he has come in at Arsenal and really played very well. And I gave you a start as to why Arsenal need Gabriel Jesus a lot. Do you know why? First and foremost, the 14 games they played before going to the World Cup, they lost 1 and drew 1. You get? That means they won 12. After them returning from the World Cup, they've played 6 Premier League games. They've won 4, lost 1 and drawn 1. Remember, when he was available, they won 12. And they lost 1 and drew 1, meaning that in his absentia, they've gone ahead to lose 1 game and draw 1 game as much as they did when he was available in the 14 games they played before he went to the World Cup break. So it shows you how important this guy is, and how does he help them a lot is because he really presses hard. He runs all over that pitch. He comes and picks the ball from the midfield. He goes with it to the final third of the opponent. When they lose it, he presses from the front, and secondly makes runs into the midfield and obviously into the back line of Arsenal. And if I told you, you've gone ahead to see his heat map every game, you'll know how good this guy is, because his heat map is really out of this world. And Jesus is really one of those players that Arsenal fans are excited to hear the news that the guy is really going to be back, and Mikel Arteta is really looking forward to welcoming him back into his squad of Arsenal. Now, for Emily Smith Rowe, the manager told us the following: that Arteta on speculation around Smith Rowe being ready for Brentford, he says not for this weekend. And why is it not for this weekend? Charles Watts told us, I think, on Saturday when Arsenal was going to play against Everton, that after Emily Smith Rowe getting a setback, he's expected to return on Saturday when Arsenal is playing Brentford. That's what he told us, but he's not yet back as confirmed by the manager. And that question was raised because Charles Watts was there. Charles Watts is an Arsenal correspondent for Goal. He led out that story, but it looks like the manager is not ready to risk Emily Smith Rowe and wants him to really heal fully at the club of Arsenal and really find him a best position to come in and really help the club of Arsenal. So as it stands, Emily Smith-Rowe, Gabriel Jesus, and Reece Nelson are the only 3 players of Arsenal out of this game. The rest of the players are readily available. People have been worried about Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is 100% fit, and I believe that injury of the ribs really came to a healing, and he's really fully fit to go on and redo the needful into this game of Arsenal versus Brentford. Then the manager had a lot to say about them losing the game of football against Everton over the weekend as they head into the Brentford game, and how this is really going to really drive them to see to it that they really do the needful into this game of football. He said, Arteta on the reaction of the players after losing at Everton, these were his words, really positive. We sat together, discussed the game and what happened. The opponent played their part, and you have to congratulate Everton for what they did on the day. So, Arteta, as any manager, he sat his players down. And remember, in the post-match interview, Arteta pointed out that he is loving his players more than he has always loved them. Because they've been there, they've won games of football, and they're still topping the Premier League table. That's what he said. Now, he sat with them, they discussed how everything went wrong and how they played their worst game of the season. Trust me, if you know, you know. This was Arsenal's worst game of the season, if you've been watching them and how they've been playing in the game of football. Then, secondly, he said about this Everton loss that it's true that there were things we didn't do like in other games, and that's the reason you lose football matches. There is always an opportunity to bounce back, show the character that we have. Now, Arteta is promising a bounce back, and I think this is a perfect game. One will say that it's not the perfect game for Arsenal to talk about, for Arteta to talk about a bounce back. To me, I believe it's the perfect game for them to talk about a bounce back because they're at home. They're at home. And in the number of games they've played at home, they've gone ahead to win all of them and only drawn one against Newcastle. Even those games that looked like they are hard, that of Liverpool, they came in the 85th minute and they scored a penalty and obviously won it by 3-2. That of Manchester United, they scored in the dying minutes. In the 90th minute, that's when Edin Ketia really put them ahead again after United had leveled in the 59th minute through Lisandro Martinez. The game was 2-2. Then Edin Ketia really won the game for them. So, I believe Arsenal are really having a perfect fixture for them to bounce back. I know Brentford might look as a hard team, but not at Emirates. Not at Emirates. If Arsenal could overcome Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool, then I believe they can really put out a show to win this beautiful game of football at the Emirates. And I believe a loss like that of Arsenal, against Everton, just acts as a wake-up call for Arsenal. So the players are really going to go into this game knowing that we lost the previous game. Spurs helped us and really beat Man City to maintain our point gap lead. Now, we need to do the needful and really see ourselves winning this game of football. And obviously, us winning it will really put us 8 points clear. Yet Man City is going to play on Sunday, and hence the pressure will be so much accumulated onto Manchester City. Now, on Brentford game, Arteta said on the challenge Brentford will pose to Arsenal. He said the following, that many different ones, the ones they put in every week to every single opponent, the level all where they are sitting in the table doesn't matter. They are extremely efficient at what they do with a very clear way of playing. Talking of them being efficient, it's really one of those things that you would love to hear a manager point out each and every time you're going to play a team like Brentford, because Brentford's main threat is them playing the counter-attacking football. That's their brand of football. They are really tenacious, they are intent, and they never give up. Mbeumo, Da Silva, and Ivan Toney are the only three players they allow to express themselves into the final third of the opponent. The remaining 7 players are behind the ball in the midfield and in the central defense. And that's why Mikel Arteta is talking about them being efficient. They're efficient while defending, and they're efficient on their counterattacks. They score a lot in set pieces, and I know he has really gone ahead to do some good homework on how to defend set pieces, because the goal they concede against Everton that sees Arsenal lose that game is a set piece. Yeah, it's a set piece. And against Manchester United, they concede from a set piece for Lisandro Martinez equalizer, meaning that in the previous three games they've played, they've conceded from set pieces twice, against Everton and Manchester United. The goal for Man City, it wasn't a set piece. So it shows you how Arsenal needs to go ahead and really change its way of defending, because they rarely conceded from set pieces. But if at all they are conceding from set pieces, that means that they need to find a solution to that, because Brentford scores lots of goals from set pieces, and those that have really watched it know how they really torment other teams by doing that effort on a regular basis. So Arsenal should really look at Mbeumo, Ivan Toney, and Da Silva. They are really lightening fast. And Arsenal has the benefit of doubt that they're having 2 fastest central defenders, Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba, and Thomas Partey playing in front of them would like to break that play every time. But the most important thing is that Arsenal need to get the first goal, because if you let Brentford get the first goal, it will overstretch you and call for your action. You get to go ahead and really open up a lot and commit a lot into their half, hence breaking you or hitting you on the break. They have a very good record this season. They've beaten Liverpool, they've beaten Manchester United, they've beaten Man City. You get? So, and for Man City it was shocking. They went away at Etihad and got that result. One will say that, but for Man City, they're one of the worst teams that have. Man City's experienced one of their worst seasons they've ever. Man City is experiencing one of the worst seasons they've ever experienced ever since Pep hit the ground running at City. But leaving that aside, Brentford has everything to shock Arsenal. So Arsenal just needs to go ahead and really score its goals and obviously keep a clean sheet this time around, because they've really taken long without keeping a clean sheet at their stadium. That's it. They only kept a clean sheet in a goalless draw against Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, but the rest of their games, they've been conceding goals. Then Arteta concluded on what Brentford will pose to them by saying and generating advantages, overloads, and sequences of play that they want to do. That will be the game tomorrow, and we will need to be at our best in every single phase, because they can create issues from anywhere on the field of play. And how do they create issues? Pressing you down. When they press you down and you lose that ball, they don't do a lot. Jensen in the midfield will only look for Mbeumo on the right or Da Silva on the left, all centrally for Ivan Toney. And Ivan Toney is a striker who is really composed, not all that skilled. He doesn't have a very good foot, but he's clinical and he knows when to really put that ball at the back of the net. And the energy he uses, I think we should anticipate a very huge battle in between him and Gabriel Magalhaes, because it's really going to be a battle of pace, power, and physicality. That's it. So guys, your thoughts on Jesus doing well as confirmed by Mikel Arteta are welcome in the comment section below. What do you think about Emily Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson not taking part in the game of Arsenal as they took on a side called Brentford tomorrow at the Emirates? And your thoughts onto the result that you expect Arsenal to get in that game. I think I made a prediction of 3-1 in my match preview. If at all you watched it yesterday, I really put it up there and I made a prediction of 3-1. I believe Arsenal won't keep a clean sheet, but they win by 3-1. Thank you guys for watching in through. Rokani David remains my name. One video left, and it will be coming in through in the next 3 hours here onto the Rokani Media Football. May the Almighty bless you abundantly. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. I sign out for now. See you later when you see me, my mates.